Hey, this is Trissa from Sewing and Things, and in this video, we're sewing the full elastic waistband for the Grady Pants Sew Along. For the full elastic waistband, grab your waistband, and with the right sides together, we're going to stitch the short ends together with a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So go ahead and sew that, and then we'll come back. With that seam sewn, now we're going to flip our waistband wrong sides together. Now we're going to match the center front, center back to your shorts. I'm going to mark my center front. I was a rebel and I did not notch my waistband. So I'm just going to find my center, the quarter points on my shorts instead. Then match your waistband to your shorts. Once that has been pinned, go ahead and sew all the way around your waistband with a 5/8 seam allowance. Don't forget to leave a 1-inch opening in the back to insert your elastic. So go ahead and do that. Also, if you have grommets or buttonholes, make sure those are facing your shorts. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back. With your waistband now sewn on your shorts with an opening to insert your elastic, we now need to insert our elastic. If you still need to cut out your elastic, those measurements are on page 4. Make sure you exercise your elastic, basically stretch it out before you cut it to make sure it doesn't grow on you. So go ahead and grab a safety pin, then we're going to feed that elastic through. Before you sew your elastic together, make sure that it is not twisted at all inside of your waistband. So now you're going to overlap your elastic by 1 inch, and we're going to sew it together. You can either sew a zigzag along one end and flip it over and sew it along the other. You can also sew a box with an X through it, whatever your preference is. I usually just sew a bunch of zigzag stitches up and down the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back. With your elastic sewn, go ahead and pull that through. I like to try to get it so my seam is sort of in the middle, but that doesn't always work. Okay, once your elastic is stitched together, we need to go and close up that hole. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back. Once your opening has been sewn closed, go ahead and finish the raw edge all the way around using either a serger or a zigzag stitch, and then we'll come back. Once that seam has been finished, your waistband is done. However, if you want, you can also sew some top stitching along your waistband, especially if you've inserted a drawstring. To do that, you would put you would sew 1/4 of an inch from the top and bottom edges. Just make sure you are stretching the elastic with your shorts as you're sewing to make sure the gathers happen evenly. You can also add stitches on the side seams or the back in different places just to keep your waistband from rolling. However, that's optional, but after that, your waistband is done. So I decided to go in and add 1 row of stitching, and since my elastic is a little bit smaller than the casing, doing it this way gave it a little bit of a paper bag look. So basically I went around and I put pins to keep my elastic pushed all the way down to the bottom, and then I sewed 1/4 of an inch all the way around, sewing it with it stretched out. And so yeah, that looks pretty cute. So I'll leave it like that.
To stay up to date on the latest videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel, or you can check out my blog at sewingandthings.com.